Yes, you can, absolutely. You can mount them on any hole pattern out there, with the exception of the really old school, you know, boards from the 80s that have the 5-hole pattern. You can mount them on the 3D, the 4-hole, and obviously the channel. You can mount them on any board. No, that was one of the boxes that they had to check. You know, when they were, you know, designing the binding, it was like, you know, that was one of the major boxes that they had to check, because what they've done is the mechanism on where it engages and the main connection point is up off the snow. It's up on top of your. It's not, the old ones are usually either underfoot with some of the other designs, or our old ones were, you know, right on the sides, and it would get iced up and clog up. So what we've designed is a little bit of leeway. You got a couple of different levels, like when you first click in. So there's 2 clicks. So you get that first click, you're in, you're not coming out, but there is some space in there in case you do have some snow built up in there. And then as you ride, as it clears out, then that other click will kick in. But they have, you know, designed that, you know, within mind. You know, always best practice is to, you know, try to kick it out if you can and try to clear as much snow out. But you can, they say you can crush a beer can and still step in and get that first click. That is one thing that is built into the high back, is they molded the high back so you could get that little more parallel, but you don't have the adjustment like you do with the standard straps. That was one thing that they kind of had to sacrifice, but they did mold that into the high back already. Haven't seen much yet, but they are totally replaceable. So everything on this binding and boot combo is replaceable, with the exception of the clips that are molded into the toes. But that was something they paid a lot of attention to, and they designed that, you know, to last, you know, 10 times over. The rest of the boot's going to wear out 10 times over before these do. But otherwise, the toe clips, if for whatever reason, you know, thing flies off your rack going down the highway and it breaks off, or, you know, let's say for whatever reason they do wear out down the road, these toe clips are completely replaceable. There is in the Mine 77 collection in medium only. That's Jake's kind of pet project that that his son Tim is taking over, but it's just available in the Mine 77 at this time. So forward lean, still have that adjustability. If you actually look right here, it does have 2 screws at the top. So you take the number 2 screwdriver, and as you know, crank that in, you know, this way, it does, you know, basically adjust the screw down, and it does, you know, kick the forward lean in. So you do have, you know, full forward lean adjustability with it. I don't think they hold you back in any way. I mean, it's whatever you get used to. Obviously, when you're in powder, you want to make sure that when you're stepping in, you want to get the snow cleared out of it and have, you know, a little bit more of a platform. But once you kind of get, you know, just clicked in, and once you get riding, you'll settle in, and haven't heard of any major issues. So, and in the park, you know, there's footage. We got, you know, guys in our team riding this thing in the park, shredding rails, big jumps. I mean, no issues. So these go through all the same safety standards as our regular strap systems. So, you know, you're not coming out. I mean, you have this main engagement point back here. You got 2 toe clips in the front. This is where, you know, normally your toe strap would be holding you down. And then you got this main engagement point back here. So some people think it's just one. It's kind of, you know, it kind of sketches them out. But you think about a normal strap system where you're held on one buckle over here. If that was to go, you're coming out of that binding. So they've engineered these with all the same stresses and all the same tests that we put through all of our bindings, and you're not coming out. Absolutely. Yep, that was one of the you know, when they were prototyping this, that was one of the things that came up. So yes, we even have, and when you pull them out of the box, they come labeled, but we do have this little money clip style thing on the back here. That's where the cuff of your pant goes in. So no matter how baggy your pants are or whatever, you know, make sure you're using that, because you don't want your pants to cover the clip right there. So that'll keep it, because if you don't use this clip and your pants go over that, you're gonna wedge yourself in, and it's gonna be really tough to get out. But make sure you're always using that clip. Nope, they're completely independent. So that is one thing about this is a normal sole of a boot. So there's no, you know, there's no steel bars that run the lengthwise, or there's no really hard shank through it. This is just like a normal boot. This is just like our normal reflex binding. So you're sitting really, you know, you have that same boot to board feel. So, and they design that so when the board is flexing, the binding flexes with that, and you know the clips do kind of move. You know, it moves with it. So there's nothing stiff holding you back. So basically what's going on is it is something that's just purely, there's no safety issue or anything like that. It's just purely, you know, audible. What's happening is, again, this is a reflex base plate. The board is flexing, the binding is flexing with the boot. And as you're riding and you're putting a lot of pressure and you're compressing, you know, all the foam and everything, and you're compressing everything there, and the board is flexing, what that is this clip here that's holding into your toes is basically just bouncing off the top of this. And again, it's just purely audible. It's nothing, you know, they're not coming out. It's nothing like that. It's just, it's a noise. One little home remedy that I found that works really well that, you know, reduces that is just get a little bit of wax, like a little rub-on wax, or and just kind of rub it on the clip here, rub it on the cleat there, and actually kind of, you know, it kind of helps like actually step in a little smoother, but that seems to really, you know, help eliminate, you know, a lot of that clip noise. So again, it's just purely audible. If it bugs you, you know, just rub some wax on there. If it doesn't bother you, just leave it.